everybody.
It's hard not to dance to that song.
Yeah, I was like, snap, snap. I imagined myself holding a wood block with a mallet.
That was all the musical instruments they gave me in grade school, was the wood block and the...
That was it. That was all the power they endowed you with. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. I was no Pink Floyd drummer, but whatever.
Welcome, everybody, to Healthier Home Live by Chomp with Ken, the famous, the wonderful, cleaning guru extraordinaire. I am Jen, your everyday housewife, working mom of three, crazed individual, and Ken is here to help me with tips just to make my life a little more simple through Healthier Home by Chomp. And this is our beautiful website. Ken, tell us about it.
It is a gorgeous website, and that's my bestest over there, Aaron, who answers that phone every time someone calls. And I will tell you, people are shocked when they call our number, and we actually pick up the phone and say hello. So everybody's so used to being warm prompted to it's garbage. I mean, we are here to pick up your phone. We might be busy. We'll call you back if it goes in the answering machine, but that's the person who's probably going to grab that phone first.
It's so true. Actually, I see that in the comments a lot because I'm a huge fan, and I am always poring over reviews and things to see how we can maybe even make our experience for our customers even better. And I will tell you that is one thing I see again and again, Ken, is that people are very grateful and appreciative for the personal attention that you and Aaron give to this beautiful, beautiful company. And you're always here to help. So thank you for that.
Yep, you are welcome. I think you kind of owe it to your customers. I mean, you ask for their business, you try to help them, but at the end of the day, they should get some support, and we like to do it. So
that's right. Yeah. So make sure you ask those questions. If you happen to tune in live or even on the playback of this, ask Ken your questions about cleaning and all things organization. He is a wealth of knowledge on how to do things. And today we're actually going to be talking about storing our cleaners. And this is actually a really, really great topic for me because I don't know how to store my cleaners, Ken.
Well, 90% of us are in the same boat. I mean, we're going to get to that as we move on down, but you are not alone. And we forgot, you gave that list of things that you are, which is a great person on top of it. But singer, it should have been in there. Singer has to be in there somewhere.
I am indeed a singer. And if you've followed us on TikTok or if you have followed our little show here, you know that every once in a while I sing a little ditty for Ken. And today the song of choice was "It's a Beautiful Morning." So as we go in with song, let's get right into our topic, shall we, Ken?
We should do that. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to have a little pop quiz.
Ooh, fun. Okay? Remember
you walked into the classroom when you were carrying your books in third grade and the teacher said, "We got a pop quiz." You're like, "Oh no." But this is kind of a fun pop quiz.
So exciting. Okay, pop quiz time.
There's no
Are daffodils poisonous?
Right. We all think about the benefit of flowers, which is true, the beauty, the smell, all that stuff. But so there's a question: is a daffodil poisonous? And I'm going to jump ahead on this and say the answer. Well, if you talk about the petals, yes. If you talk about the leaves, yes. If you talk about the stems, yes. The roots, the entire plant is poisonous.
What?
Yeah. So it's one of those things that if you ate that, or if, a child or anybody, sometimes there's animals because whatever, you will experience immediate nausea, vomiting, and probably lower bowel issues, we'll just say.
So you've heard it here first. Don't eat the daffodils, kids.
Yeah. Not that it's high on your list. We're just talking here. We're just talking. So the next one.
That's so true. Our producer Bess has just said the pets eat all of these flowers all the time.
Well, especially, I mean, by me, there's my neighbor, not me, but my neighbor's got a bunch of tulips. They got the yellow and the reds, and they pop up. They're gorgeous. And the next day, half of them are gone because the rabbits, I can't remember if they eat the yellow ones or the red ones, but they're all gone. The rabbits just wolf those things down.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, animals do that. So this next one's kind of a funny one because you wouldn't necessarily think this, but is toothpaste toxic?
I'm wondering if this is about something that I have learned about too. There are a lot of people who will not use toothpaste with fluoride. So is that what you are going after?
See, I'm going to call you BB, big brains.
I do have big brains. Thank you.
That is absolutely correct. Fluoride is added to toothpaste. It's a benefit for teeth. It actually goes back to World War I. There was a surplus of it, so they put it in the water supply. But yeah, just so if you're, let's just say you're 6 years old or younger, half a tube of toothpaste could be fatal. Half a tube of toothpaste.
Wow.
So that's really not that much if you think about that. So yeah, that's pretty amazing. So,
Who knew? Who
knew? So yeah, now here's okay. Those might be a little obscure, but here's something that might not be. Are cherries or apples toxic? This is kind of a trick question, I will say.
Yeah, I was going to say no. I eat both of those. So
yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily the cherry or the apple, but the apple seeds or the cherry pits, those are toxic.
I did know that apple seeds had arsenic in them.
Well, it's cyanide. It's arguably worse. But the apple seeds have a protective coating on them.
Yeah.
So it's in and of itself. If you swallow it, it's not a problem. But if you grind them up, those are definitely problematic. You could get rapid breathing, seizures, and it definitely could be fatal.
Oh my gosh.
Cherry pits and apple seeds. So again, that's kind of a trick question, but
throw them out. Get rid of them.
So here's another one of my favorites. Is hand sanitizer poisonous?
Oh no, Ken! Don't tell us it is.
And absolutely. I mean, this is I go back on this all the time. But hand sanitizer, the effective ingredient in it is ethanol, which is alcohol. It's like vodka is made of alcohol. That's the same stuff, ethanol. So alcohol, tobacco, and firearms has a little thing that they like to do revenue taxing on alcohol. So you get the property of the alcohol sanitizing your skin, but they actually it's called a denaturant inside the alcohol. So it's poisonous. So you can't drink it. So thereby, people can't buy the hand sanitizer for $3 and drink it and get drunk. That's alcohol, tobacco, and firearms doing that. But what they don't realize, and that's why these challenges that these kids do with the hand sanitizer, drinking them, you could take a hand sanitizer that's gelled, add some salt, the gel will fall out, and you'll just have the alcohol and the denaturant, the poison. So then they drink it, and they get drunk, but they also pass out and risk death because it's actual poison that's added to hand sanitizers. It's because the alcohol.
Wow-wee.
So yeah, that's a problem all by itself. So aside from it being flammable, poisonous, and it's hand sanitizer is kind of a dangerous thing to talk about.
Use responsibly.
Use responsibly. That's a good catchword there. So here's another fun one, and this happens routinely. Is water toxic?
I'm going to go with a lot of places, yes.
Yeah, especially if you're 6 feet underwater for 4 minutes. But
yes.
But actually, too much water is toxic, and this happens a lot of times in athletic events. People might drink too much, and it's that amount is about, on average, about 6 liters within 3 hours can kill you. Just that simple.
I remember that sad story about the lady who did the contest and she held her Wii for a Wii. Do you remember that when the Wii was new and they were making them drink all this water on the it was like a radio contest.
Right.
He drank all this water, but they weren't letting him go to the bathroom. The whole thing was you have to drink a whole bunch of water and you can't go to the bathroom because the name of the game was the Wii, right? It's really funny, catchy, gimmicky. And this poor woman died because she held her pee and drank too much water.
Yeah, and that's all it is. I mean, if you think of, it's a lot, 6 liters in 3 hours, but it dilutes, I have to go through all this, but it actually dilutes the vital nutrients in your system, and it will kill you. Yeah.
All right. So you drink enough water, kids, but not too much.
Right, exactly. We need to be hydrated, but not overhydrated.
That's right.
So this gets onto an old chemistry saying, the danger / poison is in the dose. All of these things that we talk about, water being the most obvious one, you need water to live, but too much water can be a danger. So, and it's like this with a lot of things that you wouldn't otherwise think about. You have to be careful of actually how much you're having in an ingredient, any given ingredient. But on top of that, we talk about the ones that are just obvious, but there's other ingredients in chemicals and cleaning products that are quote unquote, they're called reactive. It's this one might be fine as is, this one might be fine as is, but together mixed, they're fatal. And this is one of those things. If you look, that's kind of a drawing of a bottle of bleach, and there's a bottle of ammonia in there. And when they mix together, it's chloramine gas, which was a chemical warfare ingredient in World War I. It was it's incredibly toxic. and it could be innocent. And this is one of those things I talk about with everybody. With my mother, when she was a young lady, cleaning in the house, she inadvertently used a bottle with some ammonia, and then in the same bucket added some bleach, and it was enough to knock her out. She lost her teeth, but she's still a beautiful lady. She's still a beautiful lady.
Wow.
Trust me, she's gorgeous.
See, this is what Ken talks about. Any mistakes that he or his family has made, he's going to tell us about it. We're going to learn from it.
And on top of it, there's that's just an obvious one, but there's a lot of other ingredients that you have no idea how volatile they can be by reaction. So I would tell people, do not mix. Just do not mix cleaning chemicals. It's a very smart path to take.
Is that now? See, we use more natural products at Healthier Home. So do you have to worry about mixing up bottles with our Healthier Home products?
Well, I think that's a great question, because we are definitely more, we'll call it natural, but natural is an unregulated word. So a company can actually do anything and call it natural. So you really don't know what's in that quote unquote natural product. And if we go back to just what we were talking about, the dangers in the dose, even although you might have something that's completely safe, like the limonene, as you squeeze an orange peel, you get the juice of the limonene, it squirts in your eye, it burns. That's fun when you're a kid, maybe squirting each other. But if you have straight limonene, 100% limonene, it's actually flammable. So it always comes down to, even although something might be quote unquote natural, it's the level of how much that you have that can be dangerous. So what's our takeaway from this? It sounds, at this point, it's anything can be a problem, right? Just talking about this. And then this leads me to my next thing. Sometimes there's companies that do things intentional, which, I don't think is right at all. This is my personal issue. I think it's really wrong to do. And here's a couple examples right out here. These are pods that are highly concentrated. There's less than 5% water in those pods. And they look almost like a dinner mint, if you didn't know any better. And because of the color and because of the swirl and all that, it almost looks edible. And the same thing goes for the bottles underneath. Those are a product called Fabuloso. And I just happen to know because I had a friend who worked at Menards. They forced them to put a childproof cap on them because they look darn near like Gatorade.
Yeah.
They look drinkable.
Yeah, those look like Fanta bottles.
So, if you take something, and that's why kids do these things, of course they're immature, some of them, but when they have these Tide Pod challenges and they're, eating these things, you really have no idea the toxicity you're unleashing in your body. And when you even talk about benign things, whether it's relatively benign, cherry pits or apples or even water or toothpaste, the intentional taking of highly concentrated chemicals is just not a good idea. Not a good idea. And that leads me to my next slide on here. If we take a look, there are annually, this is a big one. Every year, there's over 1.5 million calls to the Poison Control Center just for eye exposure. Somebody squirted something in their eye and it's burning, or Lord knows, somebody's worried about their vision. So there's 1.5 million of those. But even more amazing, every year there's over 2 million calls to the Poison Control Center involving a cleaning product and a child under 6. I
believe it. It's so easy to happen and so dangerous.
Absolutely. So if you just kind of scroll through what we just talked about in those previous slides, if we don't have to scroll through them, Bess, I don't mean to throw you off, but if you just run through your inventory of your mind about what we just talked about, it's easy to see how you could have those incidents with a cleaning product and a child under 6. But now that we know that there are dangers in things, and maybe the dangers in the dose, how do we break that pathway of how can a child get to them? Well, this is what we talked about earlier. You are no different than me. You are no different than 90% of the people that are out there. 90% of the households store their cleaning products under the sink. Just what people do for whatever reason. It's hard to say why that is. Now, when I learned about this thing, I stopped storing chemicals under my sink. I got children. And they've got friends, so you never know. Even if you tell your child you can't do it, maybe they listen, but they may have friends over and you never know what can happen. So we just went to a closet that was out of the way and stored them up high. So they're just completely out of the way, completely out of harm's way.
Yeah, I feel like too, like if your mom stored it under the sink, you just store it under the sink too. Like if we're all creatures of habit, what we're used to, right?
You are so right. It's the lesson that's caught, not necessarily taught. So you see your mother do it, so that's what you wind up doing. That's what we all wind up doing. That's why that number is so big, 90%.
Yep.
So what does this lead us to, Miss BB? We know your big brains. What does this lead us to?
A better idea.
A better
Top
idea.
5 tips.
A better idea. How can we intercede? How can we break that chain of where the problems are, or maybe in those cleaning products? And that's why, you know, any good company, we're the same, even though we've got safer choice ingredients and we do things as best we can. Just never allow a child alone with a cleaning product. So to that point, this is a very simple thing to do. Very simple thing to do. Number one, turn the nozzle off. Every spray nozzle has got stream or spray, and every other turn is off. So make sure the nozzle's turned off. So even if they push the lever, it's not going to activate. It's not going to release anything. Keep lids on tight. You know, you might have a capped product, just like this guy. Make sure the cap is on tight so it's not loose, so something can't get off. Store all of those. This is just for the betterment of your home, but store them in a tray because sometimes bottles will leak for whatever reason. Store them in a tray. You're not going to damage your shelving or anything that's inside there. And here's a big one. This happens more times than you can guess, and I'll give you a good one. Only keep the product in its original container. And as you know, we sell carpet cleaners, and I had this customer call and they said, "Your product bleached my carpet." And I said, "I promise there's no bleach, there's no oxidizers. I promise there's absolutely none. I'll give you lot numbers. There's none of that." I said, "You might want to ask some of the people around your home if they put some bleach in there." And lo and behold, that's what happened. So even though the person may know they changed a product in there, you can't say that everybody else in the house knows. So only keep the original product in its original containers. So and never, ever, ever, never. This is a big one. Never in a beverage container. It sounds silly, but sometimes people put things in a like a plastic bottle, a water bottle. Don't do that, because now you're inviting.
This is one time where we do not reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yeah, that's a very good point, right? And then the obvious one. So not under the sink, but store on a high shelf, maybe in a closet away. Just get in the practice of doing that. There's other things you can put under the sink, and that might be good. Put your paper goods under there, your paper towels, your terry cloth, or whatever else is in there. Put something else underneath the sink and get those products away from there. So that's my grade 5 on there, and it really is a good thing to share. I mean, this is one of those great things. I hope everybody. And some people might say, "I don't have any kids." Well, yeah, I don't either, but I have people that come over with kids. And what happens someday, you got grandkids. So, I mean, just get in the habit of not doing it. You're just inviting trouble, and there's no reason to. So, yeah, this is a great show to just tell people we've all made mistakes. 90% of the people do the same wrong thing. It's a good idea just to not do that.
Yes, I love that. I feel like some of my stuff I think we keep up high, but some of it is still down low for convenience. I think we keep like our dishwasher pods down low. And this is just a good reminder, just a good note to self to, find a different space to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be a child. You never know. What if a dog gets in there and chews on something or chews on, you don't want to have those problems.
No, it's so much more of a headache after.
Right. And you know what? The pods, something like that could be in maybe a kitchen cabinet up high. They don't have to be down low. They could still be in the kitchen, but just up high. Yeah. So yeah, I like that. That's a good thought.
I love it. Well, as always, Ken, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for giving us your tips, your tricks to just a little bit easier life here at home. If you guys have any questions, please always feel free to drop them in the comments. Somebody on the Healthier Home team will always reach out and help answer your questions.
Scouts honor, promise.
Scouts honor, yes. And, we're going to be here every week talking about different cleaning tips. So what do you say, Ken? Will I see you next week?
You will see me next week. And I feel good about this episode. It's kind of like a PSA. We're not really pushing, product or whatever, but it's a good thing to share with people.
I agree. You are always looking to help your community. So thank you for that.
Good to be with you.
All righty. We'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.